Hello, I'm Wayward, and this is Universe at War. After a long time, I finally tracked down some more 1 versus 1 replays to show everybody, and I'm really excited to get going with this. As you may or may not know, Universe at War is a 2007 RTS, released around the same time, I think, as Command & Conquer 3, slightly before, slightly after, somewhere in that year anyway. It has 3 of the most asymmetrically designed factions you will see in RTS. It's fun, it's wacky, it's wild. Kind of got that Westwood-style camp to it, along with a really low camera, which is always fun. But anyway, really excited to take a look at this match with you. The players, and I'm afraid I don't know who is who, are Purified01 and Greco. This is, of course, the Hierarchy faction, who is, as you can see, calling in these Reaper drones from orbit. And the Reaper drones grab resources off the map, can automatically grab humans as well. They don't need to return to any sort of refinery. They just zap things up and get resources for them. They have some instant pickups, some things take longer to harvest. Anyway, also got a detection drone coming out that provides the radar. Let's take a look at our other player and see what's going on over here. This is our blue Masari player. I assume this is Purified01. He tends to play Masari, and the one time I played against Greco, he trounced me and he was Hierarchy, so I can assume for the moment that this is Purified01 and the other player is Greco. The Masari are a very defensive faction. They can switch their entire faction between light mode and dark mode. Right now it's in dark mode, you can tell by the purple. And just now getting out some infantry while producing these matter engines to gain resources over time. The other two factions gather resources off the map. The Masari gain infinite resources over time with these matter engines. So there's that detection drone scan coming down, sees what Purified is doing. Our Hierarchy players, you can see, is spread over a wide portion of the map. This is pretty safe. We actually have a scout going off here. It could actually kill this glyph. Yeah, this is why you do the early scouting here, because this glyph carver can't do anything while that guy is set up there. I think they're trying to crush the infantry. There we go. Got him squished so they can, again, try to rebuild that walker. But yeah, a lot of infantry coming out, starting to harass these Reaper drones. You can see it's doing some damage already. Not inconsiderable amount of damage. And the Reaper drone deals decent damage as well, and can crush the disciples, these little infantry guys. But it is actually losing a decent amount of health, so this is a pretty decent attack so far. More guys coming in. Another infantry portal, a skirmisher portal, I think is what it's called. So, yep, going to be taking out that Reaper drone. That is actually a pretty big blow to our Hierarchy players' economy. The spitter turret glyphs coming up to defend the base. That's, of course, smart. Let's see if this glyph can get summoned before these disciples come in and wreck it. Now harassing the glyph carver, and I think the turrets will summon in okay. This is some nice aggressive Masari play, really interesting to see. Typically, they actually killed the spitter turret. Now this one's summoned in and will be able to crush these infantry pretty quickly. And we also have that walker almost summoned in. I was going to say something about the game Universe at War, but it is slipping my mind. This is probably going to be... No, they managed to get it, the glyph summoned before the disciples came in. So, really aggressive play from our Masari player, and a good response from our Hierarchy. One of the call-out, standout features of Universe at War is something they called tactical dynamics. So the Hierarchy walkers have these hard points they can build things on. The Masari have their light matter mode and dark matter mode that they're supposed to switch between. Typically, players just pick one or the other and stick with it. But it changes how all of their units function all at once with the click of a button. And buildings and units can gain force fields and stuff. But yeah, a lot of infantry coming out, a lot of these disciples. Now, disciples are kind of a light anti-air. I didn't see them as much of an offensive force, but clearly I was misusing them. These grunts, however, they have that cone-shaped shotgun blast that can hurt all of these guys at once, and they're incredibly tough, tanky infantry. There are a lot of disciples, but I think the grunts will be able to win in the long run. Really interesting to see both players focusing on infantry. Also notable, the hierarchy player is keeping this walker back in the base. A really, I don't know, I would say defensive but cautious position. It might make more sense to put the walker up here more, rather than keeping it back. Our Masari player, who again I think is purified, is pulling back slightly. Let's see. We have the Knowledge Vault. This is actually a really terrible position, I think, for the Knowledge Vault. It's right in the front of the base. It's very vulnerable. Typically, Knowledge Vaults are built further back. Looks like we have two machinists coming up. Possibly one is a regular machina, one is a flight machina. Hard to tell at this point. There is a limitation with the replay engine with Universe at War. Unfortunately, it is... what would you say? It is bad. I can only see the player, one player's perspective. I can't swap. I can't track back and forth. More harassment of this Reaper drone. I think it might die before these grunts can even respond. And there's also enough disciples here that the grunts are going to have a hard time killing it. There goes the Reaper. More harassment of this other Reaper. This is a really aggressive Masari play. I'm actually taking notes for the next time I play. This is delightful. Okay, so two machinists coming down. Now, I haven't talked much about how the Masari work, and I feel like that's been remiss. I assume many of the people who will be watching this replay know how the game works, but I mean, this is a not much played RTS from 2007, so just in case. The Architect is the Masari's builder unit. It can also heal vehicles, and what it's doing right now is it's powering up these buildings. One Architect, I think, decreases build times by 20%, and two is 35, I think. They're increasing resource generation. They can do a lot of different things around the base. And your management of your Architects is very important to the Masari. So actually, I feel like this player has very few Architects. Just the one powering up the Knowledge Vault as it upgrades. This one structure controls all of the tech for the Masari, and as they upgrade it, it becomes more and more vulnerable because it takes a very long time to upgrade, which again is why I think it's very strange that it's way out here in the front. For the first time the hierarchy player attacks this base, this is going to be the first thing they see. We do probably have a turret coming up here, or potentially another matter engine. Universe at War is a small-scale game. Yeah, finally he moves that walker out to the front. Kind of overdue. Let's see, we have a artillery, radiation artillery, too, actually. And then a bunch of cannons. So the weakness of our Masari player strategy so far is that he's gone infantry, which has made him vulnerable to this radiation-style play from our hierarchy player. In addition to the tactical dynamics of the hard points or the switching between light and dark matter mode, Universe at War has these global tech trees. So you can see our hierarchy player has gone 3 radiation and is now getting a second one in the assault branch. Each of these techs is stronger than the last in its tree, 3 trees with 4 techs each. It's a flexible and interesting system that gives the player a lot of ability to decide how they want to approach the game. Nice little attempt to come back in here and sneak some damage on these buildings. It's not a big attack force, it's not going to do much, but it can possibly distract our Masari player for a little bit. These are Conqueror tanks. They're the Masari's main battle tank. There's actually quite a number of them out. And our hierarchy player is getting out the Habitat Walker. That's their, not the Habitat, Assembly Walker. That's their vehicle production structure walker. And this, of course, is the infantry production one. Not a lot of units out for our hierarchy player. I don't think this attack is going to go very well because of that. The radiation artillery is going down. That matter engine's probably going to go, but this walker is pretty close and will at least take some damage from that explosion. I don't understand what he's doing. Yeah, killed some hard points. I guess not as bad as it could have been. And there it is. There's the knowledge vault. That's probably going to go down because of the location. I think you can actually just step on it with the walker. Walkers can actually crush buildings. So it's a terrible placement for that tech structure. And I assume it's going to go down momentarily. Our Masari player getting out the Peacebringer. It is a very, very, very powerful vehicle. Oh, just step on it, hierarchy player. What is going on? Real missed opportunity here. This could have crushed our Masari player's ability to produce any high tier units. It was a very bad placement, and there it goes. So our couple of Peacebringers are all that we're going to get for right now. There's that knowledge vault coming back up in a better location. It remains to be seen what additional damage is going to be done by the hierarchy player. Again, probably Greco in this situation. This skirmisher portal possibly going down, but there are two. So not as bad as it could have been. This walker getting kind of low. The walkers don't have health, they have hard points. This exposed hard point, if it's killed, and then another one, and the whole walker dies. These dead legs means it moves more slowly. So pretty successful attack by our hierarchy player, but really could have been executed in a better way, I think. Also, these guys just being left out of the picture, these three could be attacking these matter engines and causing additional chaos. This walker getting very low, so you can actually sell things. There's a sell button right here. This walker really should be sold to recoup the costs. But I think this is pretty much cleaning up this attack. That walker goes down. And now, unfortunately for our hierarchy player, that was a big percentage of his ability to conduct battle, and we've got all of these tanks still for our Masari player. I think this is going to be cleaned up. Our Masari player is feeling on the defensive because of the loss of their knowledge vault. And you see it's being upgraded again now, but no more additional income I think is going to be lost for our Masari player. No more additional production is going to be lost. So it's a pretty small base at this point, but it is actually this matter engine is in danger of going down. Very interesting. Our assembly walker over here producing a large number of defilers. I don't actually see these too often. They're not good against vehicles. They're very much an anti-infantry unit. But they do have a fairly powerful attack anyway, so it will be interesting to see what happens with this. This is a well-timed attack. Actually, it could have been slightly better timed if this army had moved out more. It would have given these defilers a better opportunity to come in and start wreaking havoc. Wow, they really crushed that Masari base right there with their ability and their weapon. I think one or two of these defilers is going to be sacrificed to kill that matter engine, but this is really close to game-ending damage here. We actually did lose another matter engine. Skirmisher portal going down. It remains to be seen whether this army can take out the Masari army, but if it does, all of a sudden our Masari player is in a lot of trouble. That Peacebringer goes down. The Conquerors are having trouble dealing with the defilers. A large number of UFOs or saucers come out. They attack with these foos to deal damage over time, or they can switch to a heal mode to heal their allies over time. So a quite potent force, plus the mass driver cannon? Yeah. A very, very potent weapon. There's not a lot of Masari stuff here to defend this. I think this is probably the win for our hierarchy player. Yeah, a really, really aggressive, well-played early game from our Masari player, but the location of that knowledge vault was, like I said, really, really poor. And yeah, that early aggression didn't really kind of follow up into the mid-game, which is a shame because now there's a fully kitted out Assault Walker here in the Masari player's base, and there's not anything to stop this. And this sort of attack really calls for a strong air force, and as in Dark Matter mode, the Masari don't even have air units. I do like this switch to the Flight Machina, but it's way too late. There's nothing that's going to be able to stop this. Our Masari player GG's out, and the Hierarchy player wins the match. So I did get it wrong. I do apologize to the players. Purified was our Hierarchy player, and Greco was our Masari player. Fairly short match in terms of Universe at War. A normal match is usually like 20 to 30 minutes, but still had a lot of stuff happen and a lot of really good back and forth. This was some very high level play. Most of the community is playing just kind of for fun, but these guys are actually playing really seriously. So Purified and Greco, thank you very much. And for whoever watches this, thank you for watching. I'm Wayward Strategy, and this has been Universe at War.